started at my first full-time church, I was astounded by the financial resources that we had at our disposal, at least compared to my little part-time congregation where I was coming from. My young, new pastor's imagination ran wild, and at an early council meeting, I dreamed aloud about having a small satellite, maybe just a worship service at a storefront in, well, New Jersey's best downtown, after all. Whether we were renting space or reserving space in a local restaurant or a watering hole, something like that. And I would say the reception to the idea was mild amusement for the most part, before someone chimed in, "That sounds nice, but let's be realistic. That's never going to happen." I didn't bring it up again, and it never happened. The church never really felt like it had enough money or resources, and now, a dozen years or so later, it really doesn't. I may not readily share my dreams without workshopping them a bit more first in council meetings anymore, but I'm still quite fond of inducing eye rolls by repeating the phrase, "We are only limited by the scope of our collective imagination." Believe me, I fully understand the limiting factors of costs and volunteer power and time in general, but I'd guess that these limits aren't really why many churches struggle deep down. I believe that it's because we limit the scope of what we dream to be logical or realistic. The limits are never on God's end, though. They're on ours. When thinking about the life-changing message of Jesus' love and the vision of a reconciled world that Christ invites us to be a part of, there's no limiting the transformation that can take place in ourselves, in our communities, and in the world at large. Scripture is full of stories of human beings bringing their insufficiencies to God and miraculously finding that they were enough when used by and for God's purposes. Think of Moses and his lack of eloquence. Think of a widow offering a prophet her last bit of oil. Think of Peter and the disciples offering their limited understanding, and pretty much everyone in between. It's the faith the size of a mustard seed. It's a few fish and loaves. It's new life in the face of death. Paul, author of much of the New Testament, sees all of this in his own life. He was perhaps the least likely disciple, having spent much of his time and energy attempting to quell the movement of the early church until witnessing Jesus in a dream. With God, life would become something he never thought possible. And transformation didn't arrive through financial gain or displays of earthly power, but through the abundance and transformative nature of God's love. And this experience has led him to our quote for today, and for this gem that I leave you with as you ponder your dreams and the road ahead. When we grasp love's width and length, height and depth together, and are filled with the fullness of God, there's nothing we cannot do.